When did you sneak in here?
Imagine. I can't imagine. I don't have any yeah.
I grew up in
Oh, I went my freshman year because the school wasn't built yet. The underground high school.
What year were you there? I was there the first year.
I graduated in '83, so I was there a lot.
I was there. So I was there the first year.
Oh, so I was there not too long after, okay.
They only have freshmen and sophomore. So that's right.
Because Deer Valley wasn't built, so our freshman year we had to go to Independence. And I lived at 59th and Union Hills, we had it all the way down there.
We were always at 59.
That's when we had our house.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, my niece. All day.
Okay.
She used to play basketball when she went there. And then.
I was 6'60", so.
Yeah, she went there.
Good evening, everyone. It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting of the City of Benson Planning and Zoning Commission to order. I'm the vice chair and acting as the chairman tonight. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Next, I want to state some ground rules. The Planning and Zoning Commission will be available to receive comments from the public regarding the two public hearings on the agenda tonight. These are items 2 and 3 under new business. Communications and comments from the citizens regarding the City of Benson or other matters properly addressed to the Planning and Zoning Commission shall be heard by the Commission. Such remarks shall be addressed to the Commission as a whole and shall be limited to 3 minutes unless the time is adjusted in the discretion of the chair. Everyone present tonight should sign up on the sheet near the entrance if you wish to speak. Please indicate this on the phone. I will call your name, or Abby will, to speak at the appropriate time. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bill Meyer. Here. Lonnie Postgate. Blaine Lewis.
Here.
Jenna Dion. Here. Mr. Chair, 4 or more of a commission member present is a quorum, so you have a quorum this evening.
Good. I now declare the public hearing open at 5:32. At this time, I'll call for the planner's presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Unfortunately, our screens are not working tonight. Everything that was going to be presented on the screen is in your memo, your packet, so you have it there before you. So it's unfortunate, but we'll figure it out next time. So the request in the background is this is a GDP amendment for the applicant, Neil Gintz, and his business of Engineered Concepts. Applicant Neil Gintz, on behalf of Engineered Concepts, submitted a rezoning application for parcel 123-16020E, and this zoning went before Planning and Zoning Commission on July 7th, 2025. Upon processing this rezoning request to be sent to City Council, staff realized that the application required another step before council action, a minor amendment to the general development plan that the city has. This property has been zoned as light industrial since at least 2002. In 2004, the prior owner of this property submitted an application to P&Z and Council requesting a minor amendment to the GDP to change its planning designation from industrial to commercial. P&Z and Council agreed, and when this took place, the planning designation changed, but its underlying zoning did not. For example, a rezoning in a separate request and a change in the planning designation does not cause the zoning map to change to match this new commercial planning designation. So the property has remained as an industrial zone to present day. On July 7th, 2025, applicant Neil Gintz brought property to P&Z to rezone. This property was currently zoned as I-1, but the GDP listed it as commercial. As mayor and council cannot rezone a property in a manner inconsistent with the GDP, and because the commission recommended the rezoning, city staff is recommending that the commission also recommend to adjust this parcel in the GDP with a minor general development plan amendment before you today. Some background and information on the general development plan versus rezoning, or zoning. When a rezoning request is received, city staff should refer to the GDP to check if intended rezoning matches proposed purpose/use in the GDP. However, there is not a current operating procedure for this, and unfortunately, staff missed this item before processing the rezoning application. Staff are now working on creating an operating procedure for rezoning to help mitigate this issue and help prevent this from happening again in the future. So then I have a breakdown of GDP versus zoning for you in case you don't fully understand it. Hopefully this helps. The purpose of the GDP is to guide the long-term growth and development of the city. By law, rezoning ordinances cannot be approved by mayor and council unless they are consistent with and conform to the city's adopted general plan. Accordingly, the GDP is a general, long-range, comprehensive expression of the desired direction of the city. And then zoning, the city's zoning regulations establish a land use planning system under which different types of land uses are permitted, with more restrictive zoning allowing only certain uses, while less restrictive zoning can accommodate a wider range of uses. Generally, residential zones permit the fewest uses to ensure that properties within these zoned areas do not allow for uses that are inconsistent with residential uses. The city has adopted a zoning map that shows how the mayor and council, with the advice of the Planning and Zoning Commission, have divided land within the city into different zones based on specific regulations and restrictions, guiding land use and development. Zoning maps provide the framework for creating tailored development plans that align with community goals and regulations in the GDP, General Development Plan. There is a map listed in your packet there, and I kind of show you the different colors of what the land use is there. That's according to the GDP, so the map that's in there is GDP map. You see the purple is industrial use, the red is commercial, the green there is open space, and the brown is high density residential. So that's in your packet there as well. There was public comment. The citizen review session was held on August 2nd, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. here in this building. Letters were sent to the parcel owners within 300 feet of the subject property. There was a total of 5 letters sent out, and none have been received back yet from any of those adjacent property landowners. And then a synopsis of this citizen review session is attached in your packet there, and was emailed out with your packet as well. That is all I have for my planning presentation at this time.
Thank you. May I now call the applicant for his statement? When you're at the podium, please press the button to get through your mic. Thank you.
So I'm Neil Gintz, here on behalf of Engineering Concepts, where I see that for the rezoning. As you guys know, we've done this once already, and back again. I guess, I'm not sure if I need to clarify anything, since we've been through this before, I guess if you have any questions for me.
Thank you. I will now call for any citizen who have signed up to speak for the public hearing, who will be called to the podium one at a time. Abby?
Mr. Chair, your first signed up for the public hearing is Kenny Jans.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenny James. I'm a resident of Benson. I have a family that dates back to the 40s, so I have a little bit of lineage here in town. I am for these folks having this plant here, or this industrial upgrade, aluminum engineering concepts. However, I feel, and it's probably the voice of many, that zoning is kind of loose fitted as far as the way it goes. And I think the only way I would accept the whole thing is conditionally through a sunset clause, that it would revert back to where it was. And the reason why I'm saying that is if they were ever to leave or go out of business, then that opens up a can of worms or a Pandora's box for anybody and anybody to come in. I think the citizens here would feel a lot safer that if things were done in a slower motion instead of rush to the job type attitude. It would probably make a lot of us feel a lot better, but we feel like a lot of this is being rammed down our throats. Like I said, I'm in support of them. I mean, I think they'd be a welcome business here in this community, but I am worried about what could happen if they were to pull out. And that's all I had to say.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, next up is Tammy A.R.S, I believe. I apologize if I said your name wrong.
No, I don't have it. He said it all.
Okay, so she would not like to speak. So then next up is James Guerrero.
Hi.
Good evening, Commissioner. And I'm along the same lines as Ken Jans, just to consider the reversion clause. If you'd like me to cite the law here. A.R.S. 9-462.01 allows municipalities to impose conditions on zoning, including time limits, use-specific restrictions, and reversion clauses, as long as those conditions serve the public interest. And public interest is just to protect our neighborhoods, you know, the new ball fields, the Lions Park, all the surrounding areas. I don't think it will affect the business at all, because if they sell it or move on, have to close the business, God forbid, then it would revert back to the zone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that's all I have signed up to speak.
Thank you. I will now call for the applicant's rebuttal if he would like to say anything.
Yeah, so I understand the concern for sunset clause, revision clause. Conditional use permit, I'm opposed to because it's permit, which gives you guys, I'm basically asking permission and permission to be revoked, so I'm not enabled to that. As far as the sunset clause, that sounds good on paper, but if I would ever sell our business, we don't go out of business, we just sell it to someone, we've now completely devalued the business because they can't actually operate and do the same thing we're doing in the same space. So essentially, I would be killing any real monetary value the company would have and resell it. So I'm completely opposed to that. And then secondly to that, we're already months into this rezoning process, and as we expressed, we're in a seriously critical time frame to get this done and get moved in. I get a building up, there's obviously lots of hurdles ahead of us still. That process of a, sunset clause over the states, obviously is active to ensure another whole cycle of P&Z meetings, which we just can't afford the time. And I understand this sentiment from the public that they feel like whether it's being rushed or ramrodded, and I assure you, I'm on the other side of that, it's up to the rush. I would like a little rush actually, so, that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Thank you. I will now declare the public hearing closed at 5:43. I'd like to have a call to the public. The Arizona Revised Statutes 38-431.01H provides that a public body may make an open call to the public during public meeting, subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions to allow individuals to address the public body on any issue within the jurisdiction of the public body. At the conclusion of an open call to the public, individual members of the public body may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the public body, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. However, members of the public body shall not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. As such, a call to the public is on the agenda, is provided as a courtesy. Is there anyone present that wish to speak under call to the public?
Can I make a correction of what I said? Am I allowed?
Yes, in a minute, please. Seeing that there is no request for call to the public, we will move on.
Mr. Chair,
However,
there are two signed up for your call to the public. I apologize.
thank you.
Would you like
Thank
me
you
to
for the
call them?
clarification. Yeah, sure, come on up.
First up is Kenny James.
Forgive me.
I just want to say, I agree with what he's saying. He should be able to sell his business and not be handcuffed and not be able to sell it. But if it was to ever go, say, bankrupt or non-existent anymore, my feelings on it would be some sort of sunset clause. I don't want to make this man to where he can't operate, but I also want to protect the people of Benson, you know. And that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to make a correction, so.
Thank you.
The next person signed up for call to the public, Mr. Chair, is James Guerrero.
Okay.
Didn't I just speak?
Yeah, you can speak more or forever hold your peace.
I am in support of their business. Good business, good family. That's all.
Me too.
Would you be so kind to come up to the podium and at least say that?
Make a record.
Just for the record, thank you.
Yeah, I think they've been put through enough. It was just a reversion clause to be added on to the zoning. But I think it's a good family, good business for the town. So get them in there.
Thank you.
Get her done.
That's all I have signed up, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'd like to move on to new business. Discussion and possible action on the consent agenda, which is minutes of the July 7th meeting. Is there any commission comments, discussion? I will now call for a motion for the minutes. No? Is there any discussion of the motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the July 7th, 2025 planning and zoning commission meeting minutes.
Thank you. There's been a motion and second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion carries by a vote of 4-0. Discussion and possible action on a general development plan amendment from engineered concepts to change the designated use of parcel 123-16-020E from commercial to industrial for their metal fabrication shop. I will now call for commission discussion.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So I was glad this gentleman straightened out, he wasn't opposed to them being able to sell the business, he did not say that, so he came back up the second time, so. You own the business, you should be able to sell it then again, but
Okay. Now I'll now call for the planner's summary and recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have some factors in favor for the general development plan amendment and some factors that might be against it. So I'd like to read those for you in my conclusion here. Some factors not in favor of approving the general development plan amendment. There would be one small industrial parcel surrounded by commercial parcels and open space. Future development of this parcel upon change of ownership would maintain designation of heavy industrial use. And the parcel was originally designated for industrial use under the city's general development plan and was never developed. Some factors in favor of the GDP amendment. The GDP is a framework for future decision making. So approving this general development plan amendment is using the GDP for its intended purpose of helping in decision making. The parcel was originally designated for industrial use since approximately 1994, according to all city records. So changing this land use to industrial is aligning its designation back to its originally intended use. The GDP is not a rigid, unchanging, or inflexible document, and it is not a rezoning map. Approving the general development plan amendment before you today, this request will be using the general development plan's flexibility to help in this parcel's development. And lastly, just to the north of these commercially designated parcels is a pocket of other business park / industrial park properties according to the GDP. This proposed used metal fabrication appears to be consistent with or less intensive than the impact already posed by surrounding parcels. And with several of the commercial properties remaining vacant, this could be signal to the city that, this could be signal that the city requires more business park / industrial park properties such as the applicant. With everything that was presented today and at the citizen review and factors in favor and maybe not in favor of this general development plan amendment, staff recommends, as finding of fact, that staff recommends approval of the general development plan use change before you tonight.
Thank you. Commission members, call for a motion.
Commission Chair, I move to recommend the council the applicant's request of the GDP use from commercial to industrial for parcel 123-16-030E.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those, we have a second? All those in favor of the motion, say aye. 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 Motion carries by a vote of 4-0. This concludes all new business, and there are no other items on the agenda. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. This meeting is adjourned at 5:52.